Hi, it's Melissa with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse here for my weekly Facebook Live, coming to you pretty much almost every Thursday at 4 p.m., with a few exceptions, with holidays in mind. So just while people join in, you may be watching, of course, live or for the replay. I like to just mention that the Facebook Lives are different from my regular YouTube videos. And obviously you get to see my face in these and not in my regular YouTube videos. And we also get to know each other a little bit better. And there'll always be a project demonstration. It comes a little bit later because I share a little bit about announcements and things that are happening in the Stampin' Up! World and in my business and things that I'm offering. So welcome whoever just joined, and glad to have you here. Leave a comment and let me know who you are, so I can feel like we're here together. It's always nice to have company here on the Facebook Lives, and seeing people's comments and having some interaction just makes it super fun. So I'm going to give people just a minute or so to join in. If you missed what I said, just talking a little bit about the difference between Facebook Live videos and my regular videos on YouTube. I do YouTube videos with some regularity. I'm trying to do 1 or 2 each week. And I always have a project, and they are edited, and I usually do voiceover, so they're usually pretty quick, whereas my Facebook Live is a little bit longer. Today's Facebook Live, I'm anticipating, will be a little bit shorter than some of the other ones that I've done. I am moving into that mode that many people probably are, focusing on the holidays and being with family and shopping and anticipating travel and all that. So got a little bit of business, but mostly a quick project, and then we'll get back to being with our families and doing the things we need to do. So I see somebody else has joined in. Feel free to comment and let me know who you are. I'd love to see who you are. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I usually have a bit of a theme or a quote for the day, and today I'm kind of keeping it pretty simple, and the main focus is really just around family and celebrating successes. And hi Marilyn, welcome. And actually, the set we're using today is something that's new from the Occasions catalog. I'm going to show you that here. It's called Incredible Like You. And the project I'm going to be sharing is inspired by really both of my daughters. When I first created it, it was actually my younger daughter, who just went off to college this year, had inspired it. And the sentiment I used is incredibly proud of you. So just a little bit on that. My daughter came home last week, and so things have gotten busier with her home, but it's been so amazing to have her back. And this is was her completion of her first semester in college, so it was challenging, and growing up, being an adult out in the world. And so I can't tell you how proud I am of her. And then my other daughter just got her very first paid job, so that's huge. And she worked her first shift just yesterday, and it had to start at 7 a.m., which meant she had to get up super early for that. And it's a small job, but it's a huge deal, and we're so proud of her, my husband and I both. So anyway, that's my little theme for today, and I've been doing lots of shopping this week, as I said, and spending time with my daughter, and enjoying that very much. So that's a little bit about what's going on with me. And so business-wise, what's happening in the Stampin' Up! World, I'm going to repeat some of the things you may have heard before, just as reminders. I am, and you might be able to see in behind me back there, big envelopes of things I'm putting in the mail. I'm anticipating my occasions and celebration catalogs arriving at my doorstep today. In fact, they actually might be downstairs already. So I'm going to be packaging those up and sending those off to my customers who have purchased a minimum of $50 in merchandise within the last 6 months, and probably a little bit longer than that. So if you fit into that category, you know that I'm going going to be sending you both of those, the Occasions Catalog and the Celebration Brochure, which both go live on January 3rd. And I like to send them out now so that you can get ready and get excited. And, you know, I get super excited with the new catalogs coming out. And also because I offer my Taste of a Sweet product shares at this time of year, and I offer them as a pre-order. So essentially they're available before the catalog goes live, and then I have it open for 2 days, I think, into the time that the catalog is live. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Taste of a Sweet product shares in just a sec. So again, if you are a regular customer who has purchased from me in the last 6 months, you know, minimum $50, then you'll be getting those catalogs in the mail, the catalog and brochure. If you're not and you're not sure, just let me know, send me a message or an email, and let me know you'd like me to send those catalogs to you, and I'd be happy to do that. Just want to make sure that I'm sending them to people who really want them. So that's it on the catalog. So for my Taste of a Sweet product shares, and I'm saying mine says I have a low network connection, so hopefully you guys are still seeing me. Comment if you're not. Let's see, I'm going to see if I can find myself in my feed on my laptop. Anyway, I guess comment if you see me. It's sometimes hard to really tell what's going on Facebook. It drives me a little bit nutty just because, you know, I want to know what to expect and what's happening. I'm not. Okay, hi, I'm back. I think I got lost somewhere in the middle. Went back. I think we caught the first 5 minutes and a whole bunch that I thought I was recording but wasn't. So here I am back. I'm going to try to pick up where I left off. If anybody wants to comment and say where I got cut off, that would be awesome. Because I think it's only the first 5 minutes. So here's the tricky thing. Where do I pick up? Okay, so I think I was just talking a little bit about today's Facebook Live is going to be pretty short. I've got a couple of business announcements, and I think where I left off was talking about the product shares. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick up where I think I got kicked off. Guys, I just love Facebook. Drives me a little bit crazy. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for commenting, letting me know you're there. And hopefully other people will comment as they join in too. So I was describing my Taste of a Sweet product shares. I do them with the launch of every new catalog, and it's kind of a different way to do product shares. I've talked about this a little bit before, but don't know who's heard what, so I'm going to go ahead and review it just a little bit. So in every catalog, there are product suites. So in the annual catalog, oh yay, Marilyn, you made it back. So glad. In the annual catalog, there are 14 product suites, and most of the smaller catalogs, the occasions and holiday catalogs, have 7 product suites. I have the products, the consumable products, for about 4 or 5 of the 7 product suites. And so I've put together my shares so that I can show you some samples of what the product shares look like. Essentially, the idea is that I bundle up all the consumables, or most of them, for a given suite, and that way you can get a little bit of a lot of different products instead of whole packs of anything. So it's a very economical way to do it, and you can get as many suites as you want. You can get more suites and more variety in your the products that you purchase by doing shares. So it's kind of like a buffet. That's what I think of it as. Like when I go out to eat, I don't like to just get one dish. I want to share, so I get a taste of a bunch of different things. So the Taste of Sweet product shares are kind of my little fantasy product. So I'm going to just show you the shares that I've put together. I showed you this in the last Facebook Live, but for anybody who may not have seen it, this is the All My Love product suite, and these are the consumables in it. So you're basically getting a quarter of a pack of designer paper, 6 by 12 pieces, the heart embellishments, yard each of the 2 ribbons, and then 3 colors of coordinating cardstock, 2 pieces each of 3 colors. So most of the shares are kind of, this is the basic idea of how I do them. The next one is the Happiness Blooms product suite. Same basic idea. In this case, there's only 1 style of ribbon, so you're going to get 2 yards of that. and a half a pack of the embellishments and the cardstock. Gingham Gala is another of the suites. In this one, it's a 6x6 sheets. That's how the designer papers come. There's 40 sheets in the pack, so I divide it in 4, so everybody's getting 10 sheets of each of these designer papers. And there's 5 different colors that come in these same 5 colors in the designer paper, and then this flax ribbon. So that's Happiness, no, sorry, that's the Gingham Gala. The next one is Needlepoint Nook, and same basic thing. You can see in this one, there is the Old Olive Baker's twine, and then these tiny little itty bitty buttons. So each share is a little bit different. Most of them have 4 products in them. This time one of them has 5, and it's just based upon what's available and what's practical to divide up. So the last one I have is the Classic Garage. This is the masculine themed suite, and this one actually comes in a pack of 48 pieces of designer paper, so each person would get 12 if I divide it in 4, and then 2 yards of ribbon, and then these lovely little wrenches and keys. They're just little embellishments. They're so cute. That would come with this share. So there's 2 suites I don't yet have products for. Let's see, they're the Floral Romance and the How Sweet It Is. Floral Romance is sort of an elegant style, and the How Sweet It Is more playful. It's very colorful and sort of candy oriented. So lots of candy happy colors. I don't know how to explain it other than that. So anyway, I showed you my little menu before, and I'm working hard to get it on my website and my blog, but it's so I've created several different versions of this one card that cater to different styles and needs. And the first one is intended to be sort of a beginner card for somebody who's a beginner or who would like something simpler. And then these next 2 are intended to be more for a casual crafter, somebody who likes something a little bit more complicated or detailed. It's got some additional layering to it. And then this final card is a little bit more complex. It's I'm going to put it into the avid category, but it's actually a pretty simple card for somebody who's an avid crafter. It does have some additional details, including the rhinestones, and then I've attached some velvet trim there. So what I'm going to show you here now is how to do the focal piece. And you can see I've used a couple different sentiments, the Incredibly Proud of You, and the Hope Your Day is as amazing as you. And I've done it in a couple different ways, where I started with the darker sentiments towards the bottom or the darker sentiments towards the top. So I'm just going to show you how I did this. So I'm using my Stamparatus. I've got my focal piece right here. I'm starting with my platform piece down at the bottom of the focal piece, and I am using the sentiment Hoping Your Day is as amazing as you. It's a little more versatile than the other. I used the other sentiment when I was inspired by my kids, so just feeling really incredibly proud of my kids. So I'm going to ink that up with full ink, and see, it wants to pull the paper up, so I need to use my magnet. And then I'm going to ink it up a second time, and I'm going to use full ink for this one as well. I like to keep baby wipes around to clean up any excess ink that might end up on the plastic piece or on the hinges there. So now I'm going to stamp that full ink, and then I'm not going to ink it up anymore. I'm just going to stamp with the residual ink. That's called second inking, and that's third inking, and fourth inking. And I sometimes call it first, second, third generation inking as well. Now I can see there's excess ink here, so I'm going to wipe it off. As you can see, there's a bunch of it, just to make sure I don't get it in places where it doesn't belong. And then I'm going to take this piece off and take this one on. I'm going to stamp my stem piece here, and again I'm going to start towards the bottom and move that guy out of the way. And I'm also using the Mossy Meadow for this image as well, and doing full ink. And I'm going to do full ink for the first 3. I gotta clean this up. Now, if you have Stampin' Spots, those can come in really handy when you're using the Stamparatus because they're much smaller, so you don't have to worry quite as much about having that ink on the plastic piece. I'm just going to move that down. I'm not going to re-ink it now, and I'm just going to use the residual ink that's on there. And then I'm going to go all the way up. So now I'm going to stamp my little flower image. I'm not using the Stamparatus for this step, but I am going to use first, second, and third inking. And I'm going to vary each flower, so that the position of the first inking is in a different spot each time. So and I did it over here, so I'm going to do the first inking on the top, second on the left, third on the right, and I'm going to do first inking on the left, second inking on the top, third on the right, and just kind of keep mixing that up so that the flowers each look unique. So now on some of my versions, I did the stamping, as you can see, and stopped right there. And that way I can use some ribbon or some twine at the top like I did there. And on some of the other ones, I went all the way to the top. Now, you can't go up an extra spot to get that image there. So the way that I found to do this, which I wanted to show, was you just move the paper down. Now you do have to figure out where the stem is going to fit, and I have a little pencil mark there so that I know where to put it. And then I would just, I need residual ink on there, so I'm just going to stamp that right in there. But I actually want to make this version like this one, so I'm not gonna stamp it. But if I were going to do that one, I would just do that leftover residual ink, and it might be just a little bit lighter than that one. So just a little bit of detail on each one of these. So this one is up on dimensionals, and I just tied the twine around the top. And obviously this one, I just justified the pieces to the right so I'd have room for the twine on the left. And then on this one, I used some multi-purpose liquid glue to attach the velvet trim along the left side, so left room on the left for that. And you can also use glue dots, but I like using a little bit of multi-purpose glue because it holds the whole thing down and you can get it nice and smooth. And then I also added rhinestones, and here I did it to the dot on top of the eye of incredibly, but it also would look really pretty, I think, randomly placed among the flowers, like maybe at the base of the flowers. So those are my 3 projects, and I hope you enjoyed them. I don't know if any of you saw my previous 2 snippets of this Facebook Live because I got cut off, but I will weave them together on YouTube, so they will become one video if it's not a complete mess. And of course, they'll be here on Facebook as well. And if you have any questions or comments about my Taste of a Sweet product shares, let me know. Like I said, I will have information on my website really soon with the menu. And then, of course, if you get a catalog in the mail, it'll be a little bit easier for you to see those products as well. And I'll include photos on my blog post with the shares that I showed you today. So I'm going to sign off, and thank you so much for joining in. You know, it was pretty quick and easy today, aside from the technical difficulties, but shorter than probably usual. But I hope you enjoyed the project, and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And I hope you have a great Christmas, I guess I should say, or whatever you celebrate this holiday season. I will not be doing a Facebook Live next Thursday. I'll be traveling, but I plan to come back on the 27th, barring any challenges with making time to get on here, given that it is the holidays. My kids will be home. But I'm going to try to be back on the 27th at 4 p.m. It's a Thursday, as usual. So have a wonderful holiday, safe travels, and again, thanks so much for for coming and seeing me today, spending some time. Bye.